This is Skyblock Plus, a Skyblock experience that adds new challenges, new islands, and much more. I'm going to survive 100 days in this world where I try to kill both the Ender Dragon and the Wither. Welcome to Skyblock Plus. It is literally Skyblock, but as you can probably tell by everything around me that there is a lot more to it. I've done Skyblock enough times to know how to start this. I've even done it 100 days a couple of times, as some of you have probably watched. Except for the first time, I'm going solo YOLO. Not gonna lie, I did ask some friends, but they decided not to do it. And before people get too worried, don't worry, this is not going to be a full live commentary kind of thing. I'm not ready to do that. We're going to see about sliding in some live commentary as we get along. Just know for the start of this, it's going to be pretty standard Skyblock until we start going into all these lovely locations, see what this guy's about. And yeah, we'll take it from there. Let's begin. I just lost a sapling. God damn it. Let's begin with your classic day one Skyblock things to do. You know, you make the cobblestone generator. You extend the platform. I mean, you guys know how it is. The first big change that Skyblock Plus offers is actually the starter chest. You already get seeds straight away. One thing I was already considering was about getting animals to spawn on my island as quick as possible. And so with the cobblestone that I had, I made a new platform and moved the cobblestone generator onto the cobble platform. I got to work mining as much cobblestone as possible. I wanted to head out to some of the new islands in the map, and the one that caught my eye first was the broken down house in the distance. I did stop along the way to say hi to our first villager. He did have a couple of interesting trades. The most important one would definitely be the dirt trade. And after making the most janky bridge possible, I made it to the house. And let me tell you something. Me walking into that house and finding a bed on day one in Skyblock is just, this is going to be so good. I was back to grinding some cobblestone on day 2. Wanted to head to a couple of spots nearby. Spot 1 was, of course, the desert island that had a second water source for me, which is just amazing. And then I headed towards this ore cluster. Now, it's hard to see, but inside this villager that offers trades, well, it looks like there's some witches as well, which I don't know if that's a trap or not, but I'll check that out later. I did grab the few pieces of iron I could before heading back. On day 3, well, I started by doing some cobblestone mining. I wanted to make a platform better for my new home, and so I got to work on that. And when I was heading back, a single cow spawned. It'd be pretty good if it was more than one, but hell, we'll take it. I would say I made him a safety platform, but I'm not really sure how safe this is, to be honest with you. At this point, I did also get another tree. I did decide to wait to make sure I actually got some saplings, where I got 2. I'm very lucky. Day 4, I moved towards the snow island. Wow, you trade snow? That's what a plot twist. Ooh, wow, crazy. And then it was to this little beach. Now, I don't think I need to tell you when you see an X on a beach in the sand that you're supposed to dip. Does anyone need to be told that? Anyway, I dug in there. And look at that, more trades. Not really anything special, but cool. And then it was on to the wool hut. There was some kind of cool trades here, but to be 100% honest with you, I was more interested with the dirt and the grass. I did have one small problem though. By heading to the tent, I didn't actually make the bridge all the way there. I just jumped to the water, and well, this looks like quite a far away's drop. And so I had to climb on top of the tent and make the most risky jump possible, and oof, it was close, but I was able to make it. After mining cobblestone all day for day 5, on day 6, I moved towards the jungle island. Got myself some melons! And then I made the foolish mistake of having no inventory space. So that was a fun walk back. Walk being the key word. I really wish I brought some food with me. After de-treeing and de-dirting, are they even words? I made the very slow walk back and celebrated with some snacks before, well, moving on. I had 2 spare stacks of dirt on day 7, and so I got to work on expanding the center island the best I could. I then got to work on a couple of farms. I planted myself some bamboo. I planted myself some melons. Oh, a wandering trader. Man, he didn't last very long. And then, well, I mined cobble. I'm really missing Marvin at this point. By day 8, there was only actually one more island that I was super interested in going to, and so I headed towards it. I did see a hidden chest on the netherrack as I was making my way towards it, so I will go there in due course. And after getting to the island, was this a single skeleton? That's not a problem at all. Oh, I'm on half a heart. I think it's best if I retreat. We're all cool with that? Yeah, let's move back. I just want to point out that I have never been so scared to pick up berries in my entire life, but well, here we are. Isn't really enough to get me to full hunger, but then I thought about it. Well, I was just at the jungle island, and I now have cocoa beans. I could make cookies. Listen, in a normal Skyblock world, by this point, you probably have plenty of rotten flesh to survive. In this world, I'm surviving off of sweet berries and cookies, so I would say it's an upgrade. Alright, skeleton, let's have round 2. Oh, it despawned. Huh. Anyway, I'll take the sugarcane and the glowberries, and now onto the netherrack. It is worth noting that there is lava on this netherrack as well, so that's how I'll inevitably get to the nether. And in this chest, there was a note that was labeled 2000 - 2000, which I assume are coordinates. Just to give a little bit of context for everybody who's interested, I'm currently a 0-0 in a void, so that'll be super fun to travel to. On day 9, I decided, you know what, let's go and get this lava. I didn't want the puzzle to actually be on the netherrack, so I decided to move it over here. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to go get some lava, and then I'm going to run it over.
3 weeks later.
Then get some lava, and then we'll walk it back, and then we can put it in, and then we're done. Cool. I need some food. Day 10, I was placing glowberries. I now have berries and berries and cookies for the menu of food available to me. Anyway, it was into the nether, and it was just a normal nether, which I'm not gonna lie, I was really disappointed about that. So as many people know, I've actually done the Skyblock World and 2 100-day series, and in both times, the Skyblock nether actually is a custom nether where you have very little that you can do. So just seeing a normal nether in Skyblock just kind of felt like it was too easy. There was too much that I could potentially do here. And so I decided to make myself a little bit of a ruling. Basically, I'm only allowed to use the nether for stuff that is unobtainable for stuff that is in the overworld. For now, let's leave. I shockingly have to go and get some cobblestone. On day 11, I was questioning whether or not I'd need to make myself a mob spawner, but in the grand scheme of things, I couldn't think of a major reason to not do it, and so I got to work on that one. I have done this a few times, so I didn't really have too much of an issue building it, though it did take me all day to just get halfway through the flooring of the mob grinder. I did have the flooring finished by day 12, but I'm basically out of cobblestone at this point, and so I need to go and mine some more. I was planning to leave myself AFK for a bit here, but unfortunately, my pickaxe broke halfway through it, and that kind of ruined any plan that I had. I was fairly confident I had enough cobblestone on day 13, and well, I was correct. I had the walls and the roof completed. Fortunately, I forgot about the chute. You know where all the mobs drop down to? I need to make some cobblestone there, so yet again, it was back to some cobblestone grinding. I wonder how many times I've said that so far. At least this time, it wasn't too long for me to take. And with the perfect amount of cobblestone on day 14, and it worked like a charm. It took me literally 30 seconds to get a carrot, which that's definitely not too shabby. And you know how I celebrated? With some classic mining some cobblestone. Yeah, I know. On day 15, the mob grinder gave me 2 opportunities. Number 1, a chicken. And number 2, I could hear myself a zombie villager. I will have to be very careful to actually get them out. Now, the chicken wouldn't be a problem at all. I was very easily able to get him out. But the zombie villager? Oh boy. Even better, there apparently is 2 zombie villagers in there, so I just need to get to curing them. The only problem is if I leave the area, they more than likely will despawn. I tried to give them armor and I tried to give them blocks to pick up, but sadly that wasn't working either. If I left this area, then these zombie villagers would simply despawn. And so I had a bit of a plan. I don't know if people would count this as cheating, but what I did was I actually opened the world up to land to put my alt account into the world, just so we could sit next to the zombie villagers. But for some weird reason, I just couldn't join the world. And since that plan failed, there's not really much for me to do except heading to the nether and just hope they don't despawn. And it was into the nether on day 16, where I know that fortress isn't very far away, but man, does that fortress look far away. It didn't stop me at all. Like, now, I only really needed 2 blaze rods, one for the brewing stand and one to, well, use the fuel for the brewing stand, and so that was my simple plan. I very quickly got 2 rods, and then time to leave. And though I had the potions sorted for the zombie villages, I forgot a kind of key component to this, and that's, well, I don't have any gold. In theory, I could use the nether to get some gold, but I did make that rule, and I'm not going to back out. I'm only going to use the nether if I absolutely have to. There is this little cluster over here of ore that I showed you earlier, but there is clearly not enough gold there, and the trades for me to use to get more gold, well, I just think that's going to be useless as well. I did spend day 17 checking the other few villages, but sadly there was no real trades that I could use to actually help me. I mean, it didn't matter anyway, the zombie villages had despawned at this point, so I don't have to worry about them for now. Also, the chicken despawned for some reason, which, well, that sucked. I'm just gonna mine some cobble, and there goes my pickaxe, cool. This problem wasn't gonna go away though, and so I decided to get back to it. On day 18, I was heading over to the mine shaft. I could smell the gold. There was definitely gold there. Sadly, it was only cave spiders. I mean, they do smell similar. We all have to admit that cave spiders and gold smell very similar. At least I was rewarded with the recipe for cobwebs. Sure. I wonder how I finished day 18. I'm mining cobble? Huh. I was actually reading the original book that I got on day 1 on day 19, just to see if I could get potentially some more information about gold. I did get a bunch of achievements somehow, which, I'll take them. But I can't be worrying about gold when I have such a clear food shortage. I mean, I only have 3 bread to my name. Don't get me wrong, I do have some lackey food to my mains, like some melons and some berries and some berries, so I should be able to survive on that for the time being. At least it gives me the chance to be able to go to the last island that I actually haven't gone to this point, and that is the mushroom one. So after getting there, and would you look at that, mushroom eggs, that'll sort out my food shortage very nicely. Gonna be breeding these bad boys like crazy. On day 20, you've probably seen this ocean monument down here, so it is time for me to go and check it out. Surprised to find a villager of all things down here, and also a guardian spawner, which is not terrible, I guess. Only thing left now is this geode. Does that mean I have to go and mine more cobble? God, I have to go and mine more cobble. Anyway, moving on day 21, I firstly tried to light up the cave spider spawner. Definitely failed that one. And one small staircase later, a villager. Oh, these trays are just not worth it. They could have done so much more. I'm so sad. Well, hey, at least I got myself some chickens. I should make it so they can't fall off. I mean, I kind of think the last chicken would have despawned, but just in case he did fall off here, I'm going to just make this a bit more secure for him. And with that done, I was thinking about the notes with the coordinates on it. It really bugged me. I've literally searched everywhere, so now I just have to search this. Problem is, how far away that is, I'm going to need to grind some cobble. And that's what I did for 21 and 22. And well, here we are on day 25, and oh boy, that's a lot of cobble. It is time. Now, I wish I could sit here and show you the entire journey of me building this bridge, but trust me, that's a lot of block placing. The only real worthwhile thing to show is when I did try and sleep, I was a little scared that I may have fell, but luckily I got away with it. Now, I know what you're thinking on day 26. Did I accidentally throw my water bucket off the side of the map? The real question is, why are you asking? Anyway, with enough slab placed, I was about a quarter of the way done, and well, I'm out of cobble. This is gonna take a minute, isn't it? Oh boy. Anyway, let's run back. Boy, did I run. It took the rest of the day. This is gonna take a bit every single time, isn't it? On day 27, I remembered the miner who gave a Skyblock player its ultimate dream. Dirt. And well, if 32 cobblestone means I can get an emerald, and then an emerald means I can get 16 dirt, I could very quickly stack up on dirt, just like when I got 48 here. But it does mean I need to get some more cobblestone. I'm grinding cobblestone. Yep, I'm grinding cobblestone. After a single day of work, day 28, I had over 100 pieces of dirt. Now, hopefully some more animals will spawn. I also made the decision to try and move the crops a bit onwards. It is a bit of a shame that I am having to waste 3 iron on a new bucket, but I do have to look like a bit of a moron jumping on all the crops to try and break the farmlands, but there you go. For now, my food source will be melons, but don't worry, that's the best one of them all, let's be honest. On day 29, I want to clarify my nether rule. I said I was only going to use the nether for stuff that I couldn't get in the overworld, and as far as I'm aware, gold is now on that list. I could not think of any other way for me to get gold, and so I ate my pride and went into nether and mined enough golden nuggets to be able to make 16 ingots, and no more. That was it. I didn't have apples, unfortunately, and so I did have to cut down a couple of trees to get them, though it was a very quick change. I very quickly got 3 apples from it, and with that done on day 30, it was now time for me to try and get a zombie villager, so let's get to grinding some mobs. Sadly, I didn't get anything on day 30, though I did actually get a potato, and though I was back on it on day 31, I did actually have a bit of a thought. You obviously need a weakness potion to cure a zombie villager, of course, we all know that, but to get a weakness potion, you need a fermented spider eye, and to get a fermented spider eye, you need a brown mushroom, and well, I have no brown mushrooms anywhere. I did check the mushroom island, but yeah, there wasn't anything here. I also tried some outlandish tactics. I don't know why I thought this would ever work on. I was actually thinking, how are you supposed to get them in the normal game? Like, what were you supposed to do in normal Skyblock? And then I remembered that you normally just get them from the nether. And so I didn't feel as bad on day 32 quickly going in there. There is one all the way over there. As soon as I can figure out exactly where that was, like, I'm sure I'm in the right spot. I got that brown mushroom, got back home, and it was thundering, so it means I was able to sleep straight away. On day 33, let's brew ourselves some potions. And I already messed it up, didn't I? I know I can't taste the potions, but these mundane potions, they taste like failure. On take 2, I had it not a problem at all. Now we just need to grind ourselves a zombie villager. At least not on day 33. It did take an extra day. Here we are on day 35, where I got myself the boy. Now to cure him, I am going to need to make myself a platform to do so, though, and so I better grind myself some cobblestone. I was mining cobblestone for so long, I didn't even notice that I cured him at first, but hey, we got him. I was making the platform on day 36. Don't get me wrong, it was not going to be massive or special. I just need to put a spot for the villagers themselves, and well, there you go. Now I just got to get myself a second villager, and we would be good to go. I'm sure this won't take too long. There he is. Oh my god. Oh, no. It's day 40. I have literally been sat here for the equivalent of about an hour and a half, and we finally got him. We need to be very careful to get him out of there. Where'd he go? He's there. So I need an axe. I think this will be fun. And we finally got them in there. Now let's start the breeding process. I will also set up a couple of trades where I can. Now I would make myself a fletching, but I never got flint in this world. Nor as far as I'm aware, there's any way for me to actually get flint. Though I can make myself a farmer. I was clearing out the mob spawner on day 41 where I got myself an iron shovel. I mean, I'll take that. And then I went on to look at the 2 islands that potentially could have gravel. The first island was a little house where unfortunately there wasn't any gravel. And then I ran all the way over to the wool tent where sadly that didn't have any gravel either. And so this was something that I couldn't obtain in the overall, which means I'm allowed to get it from the nether. I was thinking on day 42, wouldn't it be so easy if I could just use all these blocks? All this netherrack, stupid moral code. Anyway, I quickly got myself some gravel. Only 2 gravel, may I add. Also point out that this strider had a saddle on it, which I thought was a bit weird, but meh. Anyway, let's get out of the nether and make ourselves a fletching table, and we have ourselves a fletcher. I started trading on day 43. I need to get myself some emeralds as quick as possible. I did get a few good trades off, and then started working on some stick trades as well. Day 44, I actually set up some trader blocks, and so I was cooking up some iron. I grabbed the lectern that was in the original house, and also the bookshelves themselves, and then made myself a smithing table and a blast furnace using all of my iron to do so. I just need the villagers to breed, and then we'll be good to go. I also got myself a cleric because I had a lot of zombie flesh left over from the grinder, and well, now I need some more crops, so I'm just gonna, yeah, that's a lot of crops. So much I actually maxed out the farmer boy, but at least I now have over a stack of emeralds, and with so many bones we can get so many wheat. On day 46, and well, I got some wheat. Just a couple pieces of wheat and a little bit of bread. I made a little bit of bread, which I think we're good. I think I don't need to worry about this. Though I do need to get myself some beds, and so let me just quickly go and do that too. Hey, does anybody need some hoes? Can I interest you guys in some really rare stone hoes? Anyway, I went to the ore cluster again to mine out as much ore as possible. But for some weird reason, as I was moving around, whenever you were to touch the villager, it would sort of ping you away. And so it actually knocked me off of the ore cluster. And then it did it again, and I was just like, you know what? I don't fancy this. And so I left. Another villager grew up on day 47, so I now had myself a cleric. I very quickly maxed him out too, getting emeralds super easy doing so, even with the sticks. This is great. Look at these string trades as well. I had everything moving. I'm gonna be raining in emeralds in no time. You know what? I've got the spare emeralds, so let me go ahead and buy some extra dirt. Make the dirt platform even bigger, just simple stuff really. And with more idols on day 49, I decided that I wanted to get myself some enchanted books. The main thing I was thinking was fortune, because if I could buy myself some diamond ore from the trader, I could potentially get an infinite supply of diamonds. And there you go, I actually got myself fortune 1 on day 50. Did forget that I need an anvil to apply them, and so, well, I did have a very painful plan on how to fix this, but you know, at least I was getting iron golems to at least increase my iron as little as it is. I did use the iron that I had to make myself a hopper, and then all the iron armor that I've been trading for. This is such a waste of iron, but it's the only quick way I can get iron, so yeah. At least they were constantly spawning. Here we're on day 51 where I was killing another iron. Oh god, run! I just have to save up as much iron as I possibly... Haven, what are you doing? Haven, no! Haven, you idiot! Don't worry though, lads, there is a second one to go. And after all the cooking and everything, I now had 12 iron spare. I will mention day 52 that the next couple of days were actually quite the same. I was chopping down some trees, I was gathering some crops. So let's do a classic anime time skip. Here we are on day 58 where, using all our levels, I was able to gear up my gear. Let me just quickly test this sword. I'd say it works well. Now for some reason I do have 2 villagers tagged to the same lectern, and this can occasionally happen because of a glitch. But the second librarian actually had a looting 1 trait, which was actually perfect. I really need looting on my sword. I just need to get myself some levels, so I'm just gonna... There we go, perfect. Here we are on day 60 with a looting free sword. I just need to go and get some skulls, so into the nether I go. Here we are on day 61 where I'm just gonna... There we go, day 69, and I had myself 3 wither skulls. Alright, it is time for me to head home. Day 70, you'll never guess who forgot soul sand. This guy! It wasn't that bad actually, to be fair, there was some right there. Anyway, getting back home, well, I would say it would be time to fight the wither fight, but I really need some good gear to do so. A little bit of a side note, I did actually think whether it would be be worth getting potions, but I felt like they may have been a bit overkill, all things considered, especially because I wanted to say that I couldn't make myself potions. At the time, I thought that was the right decision. Looking back, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to get potions. I'm able to get them in the original Skyblock, so I think I was just being a moron. Point is that I didn't make myself some potions, and I wanted to set up myself up a level 30 enchanter. Bookshelves actually weren't that much of an issue. I did have to do 4 or 5 little trades to get there in the end, and I had myself enough bookshelves. Don't have diamonds though, so that was an oof. And I looked around, there's no decent trades for it. You can trade diamonds for diamonds, but that's not going to help me here. I can combine my gear a little bit to improve it, but that's really not going to help me in the long run. Before I fight the Wither anyway, I want to get every tactical advantage that I can have, and so I wanted to go to that coordinate. 2,000, negative 2,000 that the note said is very far away, and so I'm going to need all the cobblestone in the world. So I grinded some cobble, and I left myself grinding cobble until day 74, where, yes, a lot of cobble. It's a huge amount of cobble, in fact. Let's head out. It took all the time in the world. It really did, but here we are on day 81 where I found it. It was the, it's technically a stronghold, but, I mean, it's not really much of a stronghold. I am actually out of blocks, unfortunately, so I am gonna have to steal some wood from the libraries, and it turns out when I got to the portal, I need 11 eyes. Luckily, I've got plenty of time. I just need to get back as soon as I can make the run. A solid 15 minutes later, and we are back. My god, that's gonna take a while every time I do it. My goals from this point on day 83 are very simple. I've got to get enough eyes to kill the Ender Dragon. I'll get some diamonds from the end. I'll kill the Wither, and so I need to get moving. First things first, let's head back to the Nether, because I'm going to need to get to the fortress. I need blaze rods for the eyes of Ender, and after literally killing 4 blazes, I had enough blaze rods, and so it was time for me to leave. Now, you could make the argument that Ender pearls are unobtainable in this world, and so I could use the wall forest over there, but I would disagree with you, because I have clerics. I do need to get a couple of emeralds, but that didn't take much time at all. Here we are on day 85, where I had 12 ender pearls, and now that I had some arrows with some food, it was now time for me to head out back to the portal. I got back to the portal on day 88. Yes, it took a minute, and it was time for the dragon fight. Honestly, this was a pretty good fight. Every end crystal was very rarely missed. I had some quite good shots here, and just like that, he was gone. I did get a little bit confused because I saw something in the ground and I had no idea what it was, and it turns out it was another note to some coordinates, where an ancient city, you say. You know what? I think I'm gonna pass. I ain't gonna do this. I'll be too busy finding an end city anyway. I mean, I'm already quite short on time. I need to... Oh, hey, an end city. Sweet. It wasn't a diamond at the end, sadly, so I'll have to move on. It took me all the way until day 94 to find this chunker, but there you go. 5 minutes later, I found myself 4 diamonds, and I am out of here. By the time I got back, it was day 97, or should I say 1997, and so it was time for me to get on the Wither fight. After using the grindstone that I had, I cleared off my armor to try and make as good gear as possible, enchanted a couple of bows, and combined them. Alright, day 99, let's do this. Nope, nope, oh god, nope, run, nope. Well, that was awful. This was such a pain. This was awful. Doing this out potions, I didn't have time to make myself a wither platform, so this was just going to suck. This had some cool shots of me shooting up the water whilst the wither skulls were passing me, but what can you do? And though it took most of the day, I was able to get him. Didn't even get the wither star. What a wasted time that was. That was not worth it at all. Once I got to day 100, I remembered something. I got 2 wolf spawn eggs a very long time ago, and so now I have 2 wolf boys. This world has been completely destroyed, but at least I have these guys. Thanks for watching.